Okay, so for this last class, we're going to do a little bit of a mix of things. We're going to draw together the breath work, the nervous system work, and the heart work that we've been doing. And we're going to, at some point in this class, do a little meditation journey. And right at the beginning of the program, I sent you all the links to the meditations that I've recorded. And I quite purposefully, in the way that I do meditations, make it like a little a story that you go on. And I do that for two reasons. One of the reasons is that for me, some of the most profound meditations that I've had have actually been using the shamanic process of going on what they call a journey, where they will take you through, like, okay, we're going to go with this intent, and then someone is drumming, and then just slowly the body settles, and it's like intuition opens, and that part of the mind that, you know, that the conscious kind of thinking softens, and then the part of the mind that's more free thinking, more free flowing, more imaginative, opens up, and ideas come, and what feels like knowledge and wisdom and intuition comes. And so that's part of the reason that I do meditations in a way that's more experiential, like a journey, like a story. And the other part is that story is incredibly powerful. Story helps to change our thinking. It helps to change our wiring in our brain, because it's through story and through the faculty of imagination that we, as humans, figure stuff out that hasn't happened yet, or that we are wanting to figure out. Story is so powerful. So there is a little kind of method. There is method to the reason that I do meditations, ones I've recorded in that way. And in the very first class, we did a little meditation, which was like an arrival meditation. And so we'll do a little journey, a little meditation journey, to actually to come into a state of, let's see what we've received over this time that we've worked together. But before we do that, let's actually stand up and do a little bit of movement. And we'll start with some movement to really come into a state of being open to receiving. And if you remember from previous sessions, I'm using the words open to receiving instead of surrendering. We don't want to letting go, surrendering, are less useful to our beings than thinking about being open to receiving. So let's first of all stand in a comfortable position, and let's just scan the body with our hands actually on the body, and thinking about just soothing by stroking your chest all the way down towards your pubic bone. Slowly. And notice as you soothe yourself, what needs to be soothed, what needs to be calmed. Not necessarily the specifics of it, but notice if you actually are in a state where, perhaps without knowing it, you actually have become a little agitated in the experiences that you've had today, or the things that you have ahead of you. And then I want you just to place your hands on your belly and do this simple circling. And go really slowly, again, soothing. And as you do this, bring a little bit of movement into your hips and your legs. Just stepping side to side, very small movement, so you don't even need to lift your feet off the ground. Just moving your hips side to side. And then we're going to do this quite gently. We're going to bring our hands into fists, and with the thumb, index finger part of the fist, we're going to bring the hands behind And we're going to softly rub. We just want to create some friction. And we can keep moving the hips side to side, or we can stand with the knees slightly bent, trying to relax the thighs. Relax your shoulders as you do this. And bring your attention to your breath. Just let the exhales extend a bit longer than the inhales. And then bring your hands a bit lower. So you're just kneading along the edges of your pelvis and down into the buttocks, and finding the places where it's tight, it's achy. And notice yourself arriving. Notice the process of arriving. The process of settling in, back in to your own skin. Process of just coming back out of the wandering of your mind and the way in which your nervous system has got activated. Just regulating, rebalancing, soothing, softening. And then bring your hands, just the palm of the hands, let's just circle the shoulders a few times one way, a few times the other way. And then let's go like this, so we come to the outside and just rubbing up and down. And as you do this, you can bounce a little bit, so there's a little gentle up and down movement with your knees. Try and relax your buttocks, relax your calves, relax your thighs as you do this movement. And then think about just kind of the downward movement, so that your shoulders aren't gripping to pull up. It's more just the downward. And if you use your legs, there's very little action in your shoulders, so it doesn't get tense and tight. And if we go a little faster, then we create momentum. And the shaking movement is quite useful to help to literally kind of shake off and move any of the, I call it brittle energy, the kind of anxious, wiry energy. The shaking is useful to move that, and also obviously always bringing a more kind of balanced sensation of how the body is. And softening into the IT band, top of the IT band area. And then letting that go. And again, just like arms heavy, really heavy. And move your shoulders. Move the shoulders one way and then the other way. And then let's drop the chin. And as we drop the chin, allow the top of your back very slightly to bend forward, so that you're getting lengthening through the back of your neck and into the top part of your back. And the arms kind of hang heavily forwards. And we're going to go down just a little bit. So down very slowly. Whole time just letting your arms hang, and just allow yourself the luxury of a few breaths at a time as you millimeter your way forwards, your way down. And you might not go very far. We're just finding the spots in the upper back that are tight. And if possible, let your head hang heavily. And then bring your hands to your knees, above your knees, and just climb back up. Bring your head just over to one side. And as your ear goes towards one shoulder, we're thinking about lengthening, 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 the opening, the side of the neck. And then this arm is heavy to help. And we can actually, let's circle the wrist. And if you're not quite sure which, do both sides. But we're thinking about lengthening, 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 lengthening through this side. And then slightly adjust your head so that then the direction of the stretch, the opening, is here. And as we do this, as we get more into the throat, feel air coming in and just how lovely it is, the openness of your throat. You can take a couple of deep breaths, feeling the air coming in, and then the warmth of the air as it goes out. And then even adjusting your chin, maybe opening the throat a little bit more by lifting your chin. And then slowly take your head across. And then the other arm, you can actively push it down so that you're lengthening, 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 stretching. Breathing in, breathing out. Adjusting your chin, lifting your chin. And take the kind of breath that's like a, oh, thank goodness. All is well. All is well. And adjust the chin upwards just a little bit more. Circle the wrists. And then bring your head back to neutral. And then I want you to do this movement. So the palms go up. So this is like a serving movement. And this is a really nice warm up for the shoulders and the upper back. And do this with lightness. So the knees move a little bit. So there's a slight spring in your step. And you can use this as a really nice warm-up exercise for a lot of different types of exercise. I use this a lot for surfing. You could use this for tennis. And the trick as we do movements and we use movements, especially if we have a movement pattern, so we were talking earlier, Joanna, about serving. If we have a movement pattern and then the next day we're like, oh, I'm a little bit tight. Part of it may just be building up the muscle strength. Part of it may be the rigidity that we put into the movement that we need to train out of the movement. And so as we do this movement, there's a spring, there's a lightness, and there's a finding the edge of the movement for you where you get into a stretch. You try not to go into pain. That's not useful for the nervous system. We need to move in pain-free range. And so if there's pain, we have to find a way to adapt the movement. And then as we do this, we just allow the joints, especially here at the shoulders, we allow the shoulders this kind of freedom in the swinging movement to really stretch and just find comfortably the end range, just getting the stretch to extend the movement. I'm thinking about singing exercises. The singing exercises where you get into the high range or the low range of your voice, where you're just stretching the vocal cords, just training them to be able to go that little bit higher or a little bit lower. Just the same thing with our joints. And there's this twisting movement here. So really thinking about crossing the midline of the body with the arm that's in front of you. And the arm that's behind you goes high as well. And we're just going to keep doing this movement. I've got children knocking on my door that I'm going to ignore. They're not my children. If you hear knocking in the background, that's what's happening. Breathing. And then let's slow down the movement. And just take a tiny little walk around. And just take a breath. And let's come to this movement, to the simple joint circling of our wrists, moving our fingers. Slowly, slowly. And opening to the idea or the sense of, to me it feels sacred. You could maybe use a different word if you want. A sacred sense of the richness of slowing down, calibrating to a sense of stillness in the space around you. Allowing your senses to go wide, as though with your eyes you're taking in a horizon, beautiful view. So we lose that narrowness of focus, so our eyes are soft. Our ears are open to sounds and allowing of sounds, so we're not disturbed by the different sounds. We're just noticing what's there. And just like a deer or a horse in a field, imagine yourself being peaceful. There's no danger around, and yet you're receptive. Your senses are open, really noticing, but noticing in this spaciously balanced way. With a sense of safety. And then let's do this movement, soft shoulders. So this is the rib movement we've done a few times. So as though your fingers are coming in to the lower part of the sternum, tucking in and opening out, scooping away tension slowly, slowly. And the hands come back in a little bit higher, scooping, just opening up. And then bring your hands from top down to bottom and imagine your fingers going right to the back of your body, to your spine, and relieving and releasing the tension between the ribs at the back of your body. And then relax your arms and do tiny, tiny circles with your shoulders. So you're shrugging, you're using your arm bones, your humerus to push up, back, and down. As though you're oiling, lubricating the shallow shoulder socket. that the humerus connects with. And then go the other way. Just feeling that your arm bones, your upper arm bones, moving forwards and back and up. And then place your hands on your hips and make circles. Slow circles. Imagine a rim around you, like you're standing in a cauldron, and your hips are trying to reach out and touch every part of the rim around you. Your hips, groin, buttocks, pelvic girdle, moving in these big circles. And our body is just going to go forwards and backwards. And then we're going to go the other way. And then bringing your hands to your hips. Let's do some circling. So the leg comes up and the knee is going to go up and forwards, out to the sides. This movement back is really important. We want to get a little bit of extension. So this movement going back. And then let's go the other way. And then bring the leg down and the other leg circling. And finding that little bit of movement backwards before your leg comes forwards again. Holding a wall if you need. And then the other way. I can't remember if we circled the other way on the other leg. Never mind. And then bringing the leg down. Let's go to knee circles. So hands just above your knees and just circling your knees. I'll adjust my screen. Just like this. I like it with the feet together. Hands just above the knees. And then circle the knees the other way. And I really just like, I think I like this. I like the feel of it, but I really like just bringing attention to the knees. Because we so often, in our exercises, we think about hamstrings, we think about hip opening, calf stretches. And our knees are these incredible joints of mobility between our ankles and our hips that have to accommodate for the lack of movement there may be in the feet or the hips. And let's just keep circling one way and then the other. So change it up, you're circling. And so knee problems often creep in just as a result of, pretty much always a result of something not working properly in the hips or the feet and ankles in the way that the knees are accommodating. And so just bringing the knees some direct attention, I think, is a really valuable thing to do. And as you do this, as you circle one way and then the other way, allow there to be lots of movement through your ankles. And so your feet roll side to side, your toes spread. And then let's stand up and let's do some ankle circling. So as always, just finding some support, balance. Circle slowly. And then circle the other way. And then shake. And then circling the other side. So by now we've done all these classes together, you really have an understanding of setting yourself up with good breathing habits, of knowing that it takes a bit of time for the nervous system to soothe, to balance. And as we get this kind of like, okay, I've arrived, then the movement that we do, we're really in our bodies knowing what we need. And so we set up our movement practice then to give ourselves freedom of movement, more freedom of movement through our joints, to bring good blood flow to and from areas. Just take a little bit of a walk around, a little meander. And so the medicine of the movement is really to bring good blood flow to areas, good blood flow away from areas so that we move stagnation in our body. And we do it in a way where the nervous system is balanced so we can really be in the best healing state that we need. And then learning movements that have an energetic quality to really nourish ourselves hormonally. So we're supporting our adrenals, and to nourish ourselves, to give our nervous systems good movement, and to maintain our strength and flexibility. And so we have this as our foundation that we've learned in the program. And as we go forwards over the next months in what I call the member circle, we start to then explore different facets, different elements of movement that are where we can launch from. We can launch from this foundation. And one of them that we'll explore a little bit today is the faculty of imagination that we've looked at before. I want you to tip your hips over, and I want you to come into a forward bend, which is going to do a tiny bit more work to release the spine. In one of the classes recently that I taught, I had it, we were leaning up against something, and I quite like that. So it's your choice right now. You can either find a wall, have your feet a full foot in front of the wall, lean against it, and then hang. Or you can just do a free forward bend. So your choice. The knees are going to be a little bit bent, and you're just letting your body pour forwards. And your ribs maybe will find your thighs, and your arms, just depending on what feels better for your neck and for your head. Either you can put your hands on your ankles or shins and actually support yourself. That could feel, it does feel really nice. Just feeling the lengthening. So you want to tuck your chin and try and lengthen through the spine. So you push your hips back and you pull the crown of your head forward, lengthening, lengthening. Feeling the space in your lower back. Feel the whole surface area of the back of your body. And feel the movement of your belly as you breathe in and out. And in this area, we have more access to breathing deeply. The back of our body, we can really feel it moving. And enjoy the sensation. Feel the spaciousness. And call to mind the feeling that there is no rush. It takes time for things to change. And so where you might be eager, rightfully so, to feel release and more comfort, also allow the wisdom of there being enough time, that it's okay. Tell your body it's okay. There is enough time. You don't have to change right now. And notice the freedom in that as you just kindly let your body know that it's okay. There is time. There is not a pressure to perform, to adjust, to release in this next 30 seconds. That you accept things as they are right now. And then let's slowly come up from wherever you are in your forward bend. And looking at the floor, as you come up, keep your eyes fixed on the ground for 5 to 10 seconds. And then slowly lifting your gaze. And then let's go into, I'm going to adjust my camera again. Let's go into a little bit of our crane movement because it has so many elements. It's really all the elements, both of movement and of energy, that I really love to teach. So in our crane movement, we're going to bring our fingers together and we're going to lift our right leg just a little bit. I'm lifting my leg quite high. You can lift it just a fraction. Then place your heel down on the floor, the ball of your foot, and bring your arms around this beautiful wing-like posture and just hold it for a moment, this feeling of love, protection. And then we allow the wings to fly behind us, and we're going to go into a forward bend over the front leg. So you're going to extend your body down again, and the wings are going to go behind you. And then you're going to bring your arms up above you, reaching up, and feel the opening in the front of the body. And as you do this, there is an extension movement, but there is not pushing forwards too much here. There is a slight tuck in the pelvis so that we lengthen the low back. And then just bringing the hands down in front of you. And we'll just do it to that place. So we'll bring the fingers together, the left leg lifts, and we step, and we wrap our arms, and we find the feeling of protection, of support, comfort. And then we are going to gracefully bow, folding over the front leg. And then the arms come forwards and up into a beautiful kind of arcing movement. So much grace, so much beauty in this movement. And then stepping onto the back foot and just bringing the arms down in front of you, the fingers facing forwards like you're tracing the air in front of you. And then the right side again. So we're just going to go side to side till we really just have a feeling of the flow of this movement. The arms come around. Slowly, the wings fly behind us as we bow. And we come up and we bring the arms forwards. All of our weight goes onto the front foot. And then bringing the hands down in front. And I know I'm a little cut off in the camera, so don't worry. It doesn't need to be perfect, but just the rhythm. So the arms go up and the arms come around. And then the arms are going to flare open as wings as we bow. And then the arms rise up above us, open-hearted. And then the hands come down. Lifting one foot, stepping slowly, slowly. Bowing. Straight front leg. All your weight rocks forwards onto the front foot. And then your weight rocks forwards onto the back foot. We step back. And then we're going to come to the other side. So we step onto the front foot fully as the arms come round. And then we step fully onto the back foot as we bow. Our weight rocks forwards onto the front foot as the arms go up. And then the weight comes back onto the back foot and we step. Shifting your weight onto your left leg, lifting your right. Put your weight on your right foot and wrap the arms around you. Bowing and bring your weight onto your back foot. Shift your hips forwards, rock your weight onto your front foot. Shift your weight back onto your back foot and bring the hands back. And then beginning again. Lifting the left foot. Shift your weight forwards onto the front foot. Shift your weight onto the back foot. Arms go wide, chest goes down. Shift your weight forwards and the arms rise above you. Shift your weight back and just let your arms slowly come down. Right foot lifts. And as we step, our arms wrap. Move from your hips, shift your hips back, and your weight goes onto your back foot, and you bow. Rock your weight forwards onto the front foot, reach your arms up. Rock your weight back onto the back foot, and let your hands come down. Lift your leg, and step, very purposeful, gentle step, wrap your arms. Exaggerate the movements a little bit now. So really just finding the dancer within you to find a tiny little bit of extra expression in the movement. As we take the arms up, pause here for a second. Palms have turned to face behind you. And then bring your palms to face forwards and bring your hands down. And then coming into it again, the fingertips together, lifting the hands, and then stepping slowly, wrapping your arms, and then bowing forwards. Rising, 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 opening the chest, and then bringing the hands down. Let's do a couple more. Slowly, even more slowly, so we will go in very slow pace now. Step. Wrapping your arms. Slowly. Letting your chest go down. Then rising forwards. So the movement really never ceases unless we choose just to pause and hold for a moment. There's just this really dance. So we're going to lift the arms, we're going to step, and if you're at your own pace, that's fine. Bow. And then rising up. And I'm going to do it now a couple of times without speaking, so I can just be your reference. But see if you can remember it on your own. See if you can find the body memory. Just to do a few cycles on your own and to find your own rhythm, your own pace. Let's do one more on each side. And when you're done, just pause, be still, or go a little walk, meandering. Just noticing how you are. Have a sip of water, maybe. Or in my case, some green tea. And I want to show you this movement, which is in a video. And it's this flames rising. And as we've talked about, the fire energy, so to speak, we imagine fire goes up. But it comes from the earth. So there's also a sense of earth as well. So connecting your feet and imagining that they're on the bare soil. And then imagining flames rising and a sense of purification with it. So there's your arms, you're going to cross your arms, cross your wrists, I should say. And then there's this beautiful movement of the hands coming up. And then we can just kind of turn the palms forwards and then backwards. So I'm going to go really low. I'm going to kneel down so you can see my arms. So the hands are doing this. Wrists are crossing. And it's just this beautiful feeling of wrists rolling around each other. The wrists are just rolling around each other. And then there's this freedom. There's also a movement sequence, tiny little movement medicine sequence I created that I called Unbound. And so you can also imagine that, like your hands perhaps in the ways in which you have been restricted and bound, this feeling of repression. You can imagine the flames burning away, anything that tethers and holds you, and then the hands become free as we take the arms out around us. And as you go through each cycle, try and have the other switch the hand that's in front. And don't worry if it doesn't look quite like mine. It's really the intention that you bring to the movement. So slowly, the feeling of flames rising up. And then the freedom of the arms as they come down. Just imagining ash falling. Feet on the bare earth. Standing in the fire of purification. As though you can burn away anything that doesn't serve you. Burn away the germs, the bacteria, the viruses, the inflammation in your system, so that your health shines, so that the waters of free circulation are clear within you. And then do it, same movement, but so that the wrists don't even touch. Just see if that feels different. Imagine your hands to be like flames or moving with the flames. Imagine you can just move your arms up without being burnt, without being hurt or scorched. Immune to the heat. But just imagine now your hands moving any which way, connecting to the element of fire. So don't worry about getting it right. Just imagine the hands as they move up, moving through these magical non-burning flames that are still the flames of purification. And then bringing your hands to this place just here, to your heart. The pilot light, that tiny little flickering flame where we feel like the energy within us, the pilot light, the energy burning within the heart, or however that comes to you. Holding that tenderly in the palm. Feel the energy within you as though you're holding it in your mind's eye, this flickering light, honoring your energy, honoring the sense of life force, the great mystery of us being here and the energy within us, this living, breathing energy, constantly seeking health, constantly seeking wellness, and just knowing that it's accessible to you right now. And then let's bring our hands to this form where we imagine that we're holding our heart. And let's do this that we've done before, where we open the hands and then we slowly bring the hands back to hold this beautiful energetic sense of the heart. And then we bring the hands top and bottom and we let the hands go up and down, and then we slowly bring them back together, and we let the hands then move out to the sides, and we're just opening side to side and up and down, and switching which hand is on the top each time. We're shifting the hands and just gently opening up and down. And now I think this is the second time we've done this movement. So there's a familiarity to it, and that's really soothing. We know the movement a little bit better. We can find our way into the feeling of the movement, the feeling that it gives us. Slowly, slowly. As we open the arms in each direction, we stand tall. And as we bring the hands together, we sink slightly through the knees. So the knees bend just a little bit. And as we extend the hands away, we grow a little bit taller. And then like an accordion, we just sink just a little bit. Opening. And drawing the hands towards each other. Let's just do it a couple more times. The last one. I want to show you something slightly different. Last thing, and then we're going to lie down and do a little meditation. But just now your senses are attuned. We've done so many of these gentle movements. Just notice the difference. We bring the hands to different places. Place your hands so the palms are looking at this area here, just at the edge of the collarbones. And imagine that the palms, the center of the palm of your hand, can look in at a point here, which is a lung point. So having done this heart work, bring some awareness to breath, to lungs. Just imagine, just notice it's different. We don't need to figure out exactly why, but these different movements have different resonances to them. And bring your hands maybe slightly closer, slightly further apart, and notice the feeling of space closer or further away changes the quality, changes the resonance a little bit, and just find where it feels comfortable. And notice how important space is. Our intuitive sense of someone being too close to us or too far away from us is a very, very important faculty in our instinctive self. And we can actually give ourselves the same correct spaciousness in these movements where the hands are close enough that we feel supported, but not too far away where we've lost contact. And then this movement, just to give you a little sneak preview of just something that's different, is very, very simple. It's just the movement up and down where the hands then come back to look at these lung points. And then they go back down and the palms face forwards, fingers tracing the air. And then the hands come up, the elbows go wide. And the palms just come back up to look. And then they go back down. And so when you come back to this video as a resource, here we have just another movement that you can add in. And this movement in itself is a simple little 5-minute exercise to repeat, to use as a little movement snack, so to say, movement nutrient, I think as Katie Bowman would say it, is a really lovely, lovely one. And so the hands just look forwards, they go down either side of the body, and then they come back up and the palms come just to look in at this lung point. Let's just do it 2 more times. And then we sink a little bit, and then we rise. And there's a little bit more in this movement that I will show you as we go into our member circle work. But for now, that just this movement is really nice. One more. Okay. Take a tiny little walk, sip of water, and then just come back. Let's have a seat. Let's connect before we go into meditation land, meditation journey story land. So what we'll do is we'll just have a little moment of connection now, and then I will just quietly, at the end of the meditation, just turn the Zoom class off so that if you want to stay relaxed, taking more time, you don't need to get up and chat again. And so let's just hear from each of you. I just want to know how you're feeling, how that was. So go ahead and unmute yourselves. Lovely. All right, Joanna, let's start with you.
Yeah, that was wonderful. And I really like we did kind of more moving early on. And I find I really feel a lot of energy in my hands after that, like when we're doing the heart one. And yeah, it was really nice. Feel really good and very calm inside and relaxed. Yeah, not relaxed, sleepy, like relaxed, having good energy.
Yeah, that's so nice. That's when we know the magic of class is really, now it will go out into the day. Good. That's really nice to hear. And so for you then, we have now your serving exercise to do every day. Great. Okay, wonderful. Marcia, how about you?
Well, I find in the beginning, like my shoulders are so weak. I was, I'm like, oh, my shoulders are so sore, but it really felt good near the end. Like it's kind of weird and counterintuitive, but just having that movement in my shoulders is really helpful because I do slouch, and I know that's my big problem. And they're weak. Near the end, I had doggy interruptions, so I had to let them both out. So that kind of broke the spell, as it were. But no, I still feel like I have really great energy. I actually found a kind of daily qigong movement, I guess, which was really interesting. They did the same sort of thing. It was just a 15-minute. And I found that Monday, after not having class, but having watched the video from last Monday.
Yeah.
But no, I feel really energized and happy now that the dogs are outside and barking instead of barking beside me.
Good. I'm
Ready for the meditation, and I'll mute myself for that part.
All right, perfect, wonderful. Sharon, how are you doing?
Oh gosh, that was exactly what my body needed in the shoulders, the back, the lower back, whatever. Yeah, it was really good.
Good.
Very good. I feel much more energized and in less pain.
Good.
So it's all good.
Wonderful. Okay. Good. Okay, so let's do our final meditation, and I want you to get really comfortable. I'm gonna just go ahead and mute you all. There we go. So get yourself into, if you're going to be in a sitting position, have something behind your head so you can just rest your head back. Otherwise, go ahead, lie on the floor. And if you tend to be a little tight in your shoulders, maybe pop like a pillow or a yoga mat or a ball under your back, so that as you're lying, you're putting yourself into a really nice open position through your chest. So just take a moment to get comfortable. I'm going to give you all a moment. Oh my gosh, that was the cutest dog in the world. Good. Okay. All right. So just check in with yourself. Take your mind, bring your good faculty of your felt awareness to your face. And where can you relax? Can you relax your jaw? Can you drop the tongue away from the roof of your mouth? Can you feel spaciousness between your temples, so that behind your eyes, across, if you imagine that to be a horizontal platform or a still lake, expansive, wide through the center of your mind, your head, your cranial bones, the membranes inside, there's a sense of spaciousness. And the eyes can just sink back into the sockets. And your throat can feel open, uncongested, clear. And your heart and your chest, your sternum is soft and warm. And your arms can relax as you just let them heavily hang by your sides. Let them be supported. Let your shoulders, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, your palms and your fingers be supported, so that you don't have to hold any extra tension, because you have that support under your arms to hold you. Bring your awareness to your belly. Imagine a light in your belly, a soothing light, bringing any healing that needs to be delivered to your digestion, your liver, your spleen, your kidneys, your pancreas, your bladder, your uterus, your ovaries, and all the connective tissue around. As we breathe in and out, we allow the exhale to be a little bit longer. And our breath is our natural way of massaging all of our abdominal organs. And they are massaged, there is movement, and there is a natural fluidity around the organs that allows everything to slip and slide. Movement is life, movement is health at a microscopic and macroscopic level. And so as we attend now to this inner movement, to the movement that normally we don't perceive, we allow there just to be time and a little attention to support our organs. And feel the support behind your shoulders, behind your back. And imagine your rib cage like the gills of a fish opening and closing, and a sense of ease to that, a sense of spaciousness, a sense of the surface area of the back of your body. We have more awareness of the front of our body because it's what we see, it's what we present to the world. Take your awareness now to the back of your body just to get a sense of the spaciousness, the surface area of the back of your body, to notice it. And then bring your awareness down to your low back. Those strong muscles of the low back that support us. And equally strong as the low back muscles are the deep muscles, the hip flexor muscles that run from up where the diaphragm is down to the pelvis. And so often when our low back is tight and achy, it also can be a result of the hip flexor muscles that are kind of running deep behind our organs down to our hips. So we kind of need to think about the low back as well as deep within the guts where we have our hip flexor psoas muscle. And then take your awareness to your groin and feel a sense of spaciousness in your groin, spaciousness through your pelvic floor. And then feel the wonderful weight of your legs as you let your legs be heavy. And you let your legs receive the surface of support beneath them. And you let your feet receive the ground. And you let your toes come alive just with awareness. So the whole body now is supported. And then I want you to imagine yourself someplace where you feel safe, protected. And it could be anywhere, it could be out in nature. It could be imagining that you go to your grandmother's cottage. It could not be somewhere that you can exactly see in your mind, more maybe just a cultivating of the sense of being safe in some space. And then let your senses take in this imaginary space that you're in this place that you've gone to. The sense of the temperature of the air, the perfect temperature, the soothing air on your skin, the breeze. And the air is clean and clear. The temperature is perfect. And you take in just the hint of a scent that you really love. A rose, or some other plant that you just love the scent of. And there you are, open to receiving in this place. Fully arrived in this place, open to receiving whatever healing your body needs, your mind needs, your soul needs right now. Open to allowing the longings to arise within you. Allowing yourself to be open-hearted. Knowing that as we are courageous, we are also vulnerable. But in a beautiful way, as we allow the longing of our soul and the knowings of our soul and the wisdom of this moment, the space for us to be informed, we soften our thinking mind. And so the rigid edges of our repetitive thoughts become a little softer, and just like the clouds in the sky, clouds soften, and up above is always the clear blue sky. And the nature of our mind is like the clear blue sky, spacious. We feel that spaciousness. And I want you to imagine yourself taking a slow walk, very, very slow, meandering walk. And whatever arises is perfect. Allow yourself to be just enchanted as you take a walk. Perhaps a meadow or a forest appears. And you find yourself going to some place that is a healing sanctuary. And it's just an easy little walk that you take. And then you arrive at this place. And it might look like a temple. It might look like a cave. A sacred site. And you walk up and into this place. And you allow yourself to let go or to place before you any of the worries, the strains that you have carried. Just like at the beginning of the program, we had the idea of a backpack, which we took off. And we placed our worries and our concerns and our hurts and our injuries into the backpack, and we just gave ourselves the grace of spaciousness to put those things aside for a moment, to imagine them being picked up, taken by the Great Mother, like nature, who is so generous, who can receive all that we have. Allowing yourself to be unburdened for a moment. And imagine yourself sitting or lying down in this special healing sanctuary. And imagine yourself receiving. Imagine yourself receiving healing. Allow yourself to receive. Imagine the stars above you showering you with light. Imagine that the sore parts of your body are rubbed with a healing balm. Imagine that on the achy places of your body, a warm bag of herbs, of healing herbs, are placed that gently infuse and soften tired muscles, and joints. And you feel so supported. And the kindness of this place. That you are allowed to be exactly as you are. And given exactly what you need. And that you are in a place where you can receive this healing, having laid the groundwork, having done the work energetically and with movement, and all that we've learnt over the course of these 6 weeks, that you are in a place where you have the tools, you have the skills to support yourself, and you have the support going forwards to continue being supported. In the wise group of women that you can travel with forwards to support you as well. And so now just widening your perception to imagine each of the wise women who are part of this program, part of your circle of love, of your family. Imagine that the spaciousness, open-heartedness, receptivity that each of us can receive the healing that we need. And then with gratitude in your mind's eye, just acknowledge where you are. With deep gratitude, imagine yourself saying thank you and slowly leaving this beautiful place that you have come to, and knowing you can go back at any time. And imagine yourself slowly getting up and finding your way back. Finding your way back to where you are. And just noticing how you are, noticing how your body is. And without opening your eyes, just notice the space around you and find a way to have this balanced state of awareness where you can kind of be in two worlds. You can still be aware of the meditation space with that faculty of imagination, the curiosity, and also aware of the tangible physicality of your environment. And then for however long it feels useful, you can just stay here in this place, just relaxing and just allowing yourself the time that you need to take in any extra healing, any extra soothing, and to be open to the unknown and the little miracles that come in and inform us. Sometimes we have an idea that we will receive this thing or that thing or this healing or this knowing. And sometimes something completely different comes in. Just be open to surprises. And so here I will say goodbye and let you enjoy giving yourself whatever it is that you most need right now. So with blessings, and with love, and with gratitude for doing this work together, I wish you farewell until our next class in the members circle. Goodbye, everyone.